Hello and welcome to Mind Map, where we explore ideas and insights to help you live a more fulfilling life. In today's video, we'll be exploring famous Chinese proverbs or sayings that offer wisdom and guidance for navigating life's challenges. Our first saying comes from Lao Tzu, a Chinese philosopher and writer who lived over 2,000 years ago. He once said, "The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." This saying reminds us that even the greatest accomplishments start with small, incremental steps. It encourages us to focus on taking action in the present moment rather than getting overwhelmed by the bigger picture. Next up is a saying from Confucius, a Chinese philosopher who lived around the same time as Lao Tzu. Confucius once said, "It does not matter how slowly you go as long as you do not stop." This saying emphasizes the importance of persistence and resilience in achieving our goals. It encourages us to keep moving forward, even in the face of obstacles or setbacks. Our third saying comes from the Book of Rites, a collection of Chinese texts that date back to the 5th century BCE. It says, "It is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness." This saying reminds us that we have the power to make a positive difference in the world, no matter how small our actions may seem. It encourages us to focus on solutions rather than dwelling on problems. The next saying on our list comes from the ancient Chinese philosopher Zhuangzi. He once said, "Happiness is the absence of the striving for happiness." This saying challenges the common belief that we need to constantly strive for more in order to be happy. Instead, it suggests that true happiness comes from being content with what we have in the present moment. Our fifth saying comes from the Chinese philosopher Mozi, who lived in the 5th century BCE. He said, "Sincerity is the way to heaven." This saying emphasizes the importance of honesty and authenticity in our relationships and interactions with others. It encourages us to act with integrity and sincerity rather than hiding behind masks or false pretenses. Next up is a saying from the Chinese philosopher Han Fei, who lived in the 3rd century BCE. He once said, "He who sacrifices his conscience to ambition burns a picture to obtain the ashes." This saying warns against sacrificing our values or principles in pursuit of success or power. It encourages us to stay true to our beliefs and act with integrity, even in the face of pressure or temptation. The famous Chinese philosopher Mencius once said, "The great man is he who does not lose his childlike heart." This saying reminds us to stay curious, open-minded, and playful, even as we grow older and face the challenges of adulthood. Then our next saying comes from the ancient Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu, who wrote the famous book The Art of War. He said, "Know thyself, know thy enemy. 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories." This saying emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and strategic thinking in achieving success, whether in business, politics, or personal relationships. Our ninth saying comes from the famous Chinese military strategist Sun Tzu, who lived in the 6th century BCE. He said, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." This saying highlights the importance of strategy and diplomacy in achieving our objectives. It encourages us to seek peaceful solutions rather than resorting to aggression or conflict. The next saying on our list comes from the Chinese philosopher Mencius, who lived in the 4th century BCE. He once said, "The greatest victory is that which requires no battle." This saying echoes the sentiment of Sun Tzu's saying, emphasizing the importance of avoiding conflict whenever possible. It encourages us to seek creative and peaceful solutions to conflicts and disputes, rather than resorting to force or violence. Our 11th saying comes from the Chinese philosopher Zunzi, who lived in the 3rd century BCE. He said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." This saying emphasizes the power of persistence and hard work in achieving our goals. It encourages us to focus on taking small, incremental steps towards our objectives, rather than getting overwhelmed by the size of the task. Last but not least is a saying from the ancient Chinese philosopher Confucius. He once said, "Choose a job you love, and you will never have to work a day in your life." This saying reminds us of the importance of pursuing our passions and finding work that aligns with our values and interests. It encourages us to prioritize our happiness and fulfillment, rather than simply chasing after money or status. And that concludes our list of famous Chinese sayings. We hope that you found these insights inspiring and thought-provoking. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode of Mind Map.